Welcome back everyone to Europa Universalis 4 with the Great Culture Wars, and we have a lot more wars going on now than we had in the first couple episodes because everything has been colonized, or at least most of Europe has been colonized, so now people need to attack their neighbor if they want to expand. Now I would like to have a quick look at the institutions. So most of Italy already has the Renaissance, most of Spain or Iberia does as well. North Africa is doing awesomely well as well concerning the Renaissance, and we even have it in Anatolia and southern Sweden, so it's spreading quite well around the world. I think it's growing in every single country. Even Syria and Morocco has some growth, so that's good for them. Now, Tunis is actually the first North African country that is at war. They declared a war against Sardinia, who are currently at war with all kinds of other people in order to take back some of their lands. So yeah, the North African countries have quite a lot of work to do if they want to kick out all the European cultures from Africa. So we'll see how well they do, but it's looking good for Tunis, at least in this first war. Other than that, let's quickly have a look at the other wars. We have England and the Danish fighting the Welsh and the Gascons. So there were a lot more people involved in this war at the beginning, but they have all kind of been kicked out, I think. Then we have the wars with Sardinia I already mentioned, and then we have a huge war in sort of Central Europe between Westphalia, France, and Franconia on one side, and the Normans, Gascony, Wallonia and Norway on the other. So let's have a quick look at this, because that could be really interesting. The French might just get torn apart in this. I don't know. The Gascons look very strong, so I'm not sure what France can really do, but I think this alliance will just fall. Now, other than that, we have a few things that I should mention, but I think we can just go forward while I do that. Now, first of all, Muscovy has been cut off from colonization, so they can take this one province, and then that's it. They cannot take any more else without going to war. So they either have to go to war with Karelia and then Sami, or just Ryazan. I think that would probably be the best way for them to expand further into Asia, was to just take over Ryazan. We'll see if they do that. Also, a lot of people mentioned that Romania was wiped out, but then a lot of people mentioned, no, it didn't actually get wiped out in the last episode. It still survives here in the Caucasus. So, yeah, there we are. The Romanians have been exiled to the Caucasus, and we'll see if they survive now. I mean, if they're left alone, and if they just get to colonize, then they will do well, because, you know, if no one's going to stop them. They can just go ahead, colonize the entirety of Persia, for example. So they can really grow powerful there, but I think that's not likely. I think it's just like with Sami. They're just going to colonize, and they will be pushed out. Basically, whatever they colonized, the last 3 provinces, they're just going to get taken over, and then they are left with only a few colonies. That's usually what happens with these sort of countries. But there's always a possibility for them to come back. I mean, right now we have 28,000 Lithuanian separatists here menacing the Polish and Belarusians. So they've been here for a long time. I don't know when exactly they will spawn. Maybe it's because they have armies that keep unsieging some provinces. It's going to take a long time. I have no clue. But these rebels are certainly scary. They're certainly scary. But yeah, so we see some big wars here. Romania and the Swiss fighting. I think this is part of the big Sardinian wars. We have the Swiss and Romanians fighting Croatia and Venice. Now, this is actually a big deal because last time I checked, yes, Venice had fallen. So look at Romania growing incredibly powerful here in northern Italy. I think they are one of the strongest, Italian nations so far. And this is really, really important because, as I said, I think that the winner in this game will be the one that gets to unify Italy, just because of the trade that is so important, and also because they have easy access to the institutions. Italy is a prime location for a winner here. Now, that being said, you know, they can always get destroyed from the outside, but Romania looks awfully powerful. I mean, they really have the north consolidated. They just need to take a few more provinces from the Lombards and Venice. It's literally just Venice that is left over, and they even have southern parts of Italy, and they have Crete, so they are spread quite far. So I think they are probably going to be the winners from what I can tell right now. Also, one thing that I will do is Just look at the English. Wow. We'll have a look at this in detail in a second. But also one thing I will do, every 5 episodes, I will have a more in-detail look at the ledger. We'll go over development and these kinds of things. I mean, it was a bit more important to do that while we had the religious wars going on, because then we could always check out how many countries and how many provinces were under each religious control. But still, I think checking out development and maybe even income and military, comparing the military, would be something cool we can do. So we'll do that every 5 episodes, and I think that I will also go over certain map modes then, and I will also check out alliances and other cool things. But there was one more thing that I wanted to say, but I think I just forgot. I will mention it whenever I get back to it. But yeah, so we see that the French are just absolutely they're just absolutely being messed up. I mean, look at that. It's now even Burgundy and Piedmont that decided to declare war. So France is mostly just going to get ripped apart, and Westphalia is not going to look much better. I think the only ones who might come out of this unscathed are the Franconians, who actually didn't even join this. Well, they did join it at some point, but anyway. Now, let's get back to the British Isles. So the Welsh have been basically completely exterminated. They have their capital province left. They are allies with the Gascons and Dutch. That's not going to save them. That's not going to save them. They had their chance, but the English just absolutely wrecked them. Like, how many provinces did they take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that? 7 or 8 provinces? That's pretty insane. Also, the Scots, they are allied with the Irish and English, so they are pretty much safe. They could really afford to just go on colonize the New World, especially North America, and spread their culture there. That's what the Scots could do at this very moment. The English, they are only allied to the Scots, obviously, and the Danish, and the Irish only have the Scots. So we'll have to see. There might be some animosity between the Irish and English. We'll have to see how that turns out. But it's looking pretty stable for now. The Highlanders will get wiped out, and the Welsh will get wiped out, and perhaps the Normans will get kicked out from Ireland, and then we've got Scotland, Ireland, and England in the British Isles, kind of, yeah, ruling there and well, being in control. Now, yeah, the French got completely torn apart. I think it was the Gascons did not take anything, no, but the Normans took 2 provinces, Paris, as a matter of fact, and Champagne, and 3 provinces went to Burgundy. So that was pretty bad. Westphalia also lost some provinces to the Dutch. Wow, they also got quite messed up. Well, it was a pretty stupid war for them to declare in the first place, so yeah. Leon, they have a strong alliance with Andalusia, if I'm not mistaken, so they are looking very powerful here, and they also have Morocco as an ally, and yeah, they apparently even have Aquitaine as an ally, and they just took 1 more province from the Portuguese, so they definitely exerted their dominance here. I think we can say that it's maybe the Normans and the Gascons who are the strongest in France. We have the Scots and Englishmen as the strongest in the British Isles. Leon is undoubtedly the strongest nation here in Iberia. Romagna strongest in Italy. Now for Germany, it's hard to say. The Austrians expanded, the Czech definitely expanded, and perhaps the Rhenish. But also the Dutch are very powerful, so it's hard to tell who is the number 1 in Germany just yet. We have obviously Transylvania, who's very powerful here. The Turks have managed to grab Constantinople. Well, there we are. The Turks grabbed Constantinople. Now that makes them incredibly more powerful. I'm not really sure what happened there. We completely missed that war between Albania and, well, I guess it was just Albania and the Turks. Perhaps they called in Crimea or Syria, I don't know, but they have got a really nice Sunni alliance going right there. And now with Constantinople under their control, they're much more powerful than before. Now, this is, as I mentioned, mostly due to the fact that they have the Anatolian tech group, which gives it an edge in the beginning. They will have problems later on, but they're doing fine now. I think. Other than that, Ruthenia is being absolutely overrun by the Hungarians, who are, wow. This is a really nice alliance to see that. Austria, Hungary, and Czech Silesia. I like that. if that kind of stays, because that is sort of the Habsburg realm. I mean, we are missing a few parts here and there, and we don't have all of this Silesian stuff, but for the most part, these three realms are basically the Habsburg dynasty. So I like to see that. Hungary just exploded there, but I'm really not sure. Okay, yeah, most of this were colonies. Okay, so I'm really not sure if that was the right decision to take these provinces. It makes them stronger, surely, but it also looks kind of strange. So, I don't know. But it seems as if the Polish and Belarusians have dealt with the Lithuanian rebels, and I think this was the last chance for Lithuania to really come back. Unless they're being released in a war or something, I feel like that's it. So I'm sorry for everyone who voted for Lithuania, but they're gone. I think they're not going to come back. But, you know, we might see them still. Let's check out the war that we have got going on here. I think the Danish are involved. They actually have a union with the Dutch. Well, look at that. The Danish have a union with the Dutch. Well, that's interesting. Alright, they're also at war with the Swedish and Pomeranians. Well, I like that. I liked it very much. They also have the Estonians and the English on their side. The Danish look very powerful. They look very powerful. Because of Estonia, they can threaten Sweden from the east. They obviously have the Dutch, who have southern Sweden, and then they can also take the northern part of Germany here. Wow, the Dutch they're amazingly powerful. They're doing very well for themselves. Wow, okay, I like that. They have 29,000 men besieging Stockholm right now. So, wow, they are definitely... maybe the Danish are the strongest in Germany, just because they have their personal union over the Dutch, and will probably take a huge chunk of northern Germany as well. But yeah, we have Saxony, once again, being destroyed. They're actually in a personal union under Wallonia. Huh, well that's interesting. Okay, so it's Wallonia who is fighting together with Burgundy against the Czechs and the Rhenish. Alright, so this might be a succession war, is that possible? Yes, it is a succession war. Okay, so maybe that's the same for the Danish up here. That's possible too. Let me quickly check that out. That's simply just a war of conquest. And the Danish did not take any lands from the Swedish. Nope. Except maybe the Dutch took a province? No, I'm not too sure. But the Danish definitely took a province here in northern Germany. Wismar is what they took. And yeah, Saxony is just feeling the pain right now with Rhenish and Czech troops everywhere. But their allies in Wallonia and Burgundy are coming to their aid. So yeah, I hope that they're going to be able to make it in time. 40,000 against 25. This is not looking good. It looks like Wallonia and Burgundy are gonna get just destroyed. Yeah, Silesia is in this as well. Now I wonder why they're not involved in this war, but they're being... Oh, they're hired by the Czechs, I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Okay, so it looks like Wallonia is not going to be able to keep their union over Saxony. It just doesn't look like that seems... well, it doesn't look like this is a possibility, I should say. Alright, so Tunis has managed to take 2 provinces, I think, from Sardinia. But the sneaky Ligurians actually managed to cut them off, and they now have the path to colonize further into Africa. Now, we've already seen at the end of the last episode that both Aragon, the Aragonese, the Portuguese, and the Andalusians have started colonization here in Africa. We also have this under Portuguese control, Cape Verde. So they are probably the first ones who will land in America. But so far, I can't see them anywhere. Perhaps because they got so strongly attacked by the Leonese. They don't really have the funds to colonize. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, we'll figure this out. Other than that, we have Egypt. Right, that's what I wanted to show you. Egypt had this province colonized, Yazan, and as you can see, they have now also taken more riches. They've taken this very important center of trade here in Hormuz, and they've taken some other provinces. Yeah, Muscat as well. So Egypt is going just insanely colonizing, which is really Egypt's unique position, because nobody else can reach over here just yet, because you would have to have a coastal province on this side, and nobody does except for Egypt. So that's the prime location for them. Syria also obviously has the added benefit that they can just go ahead and colonize here as far as they want. Tunis is a bit locked in. but at least they have close and quick access to the institutions. Same with Morocco, who also has the possibility of going after the New World. They will probably establish some colonies in either South or North America or the Caribbean. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see. Alright, so Saxony completely besieged, split in half between the Czechs and the Rhenish, and yeah, it's not looking good for Wallonia either, and I believe Burgundy has peaced out. So yeah, that was that succession. You're not going to keep it. The Danish, actually, you know what? The Danish also took this province up here from Pomerania, so they made their borders look nice. They have, man, the Danish look very powerful. I think they're probably one of the strongest nations. Yes, probably. And if they keep their alliance with the English, that's going to be really good for them. Muscovy seems to be getting curb-stomped by whom? Who are they at war with? The Greeks, Romanians, and Transylvanians. What? Why? Oh, you're defending the Ruthenians. I see. Alright, well, that was kind of weird. Albania has now been exiled as well. I think this was actually part of this war, because Albania, if I remember correctly, was allied with... maybe not. Maybe it was Romania again being at war? I don't know. But Albania, for sure, lost their core territory. So now they have, just like the Romanians, been exiled to the steppes or to the Caucasus region, and that's where they're gonna have to survive now. The Greeks have their heartlands here, which looks pretty good, but you know, if they really want to be powerful, they should take back the this peninsula. Is it the Peloponnese? I think the Peloponnese Peninsula from the Umbrians, and they should also take over Bulgaria as well as Constantinople. That would make them really powerful, and then would also, you know, mean that they have connected their lands, which would be quite nice. Alright, Bavaria seems to be in a war. Swiss and Ligurians versus Bavaria and Croatia. This seems like a somewhat balanced war. I'm not sure who is really stronger here. It's hard to tell, but I think it's... Alright, the Swiss and Ligurians. I don't even see any other troops. Bavarians here, and Croatia... Croatia's not really doing much. I don't know if they have an army or not, but... yeah, I don't think so. Alright, well, we'll see we'll see the results of this war soon enough, I'm pretty sure. Leon seems like they have taken just even more provinces, not only from Castile, but also Portugal. So they are now directly bordering their ally, Andalusia, and Castile is almost reduced to nothing. The Basques still have 2 provinces. They have been completely pushed out of Iberia, so now all they have is their French holdings. So yeah, that's kind of sad for them. Wow. Okay, and Malta is now falling to the Tunisians and the Catalans. So I think this is the alliance that we're seeing here. Yeah, the Catalans and the Tunisians, they make for a good alliance. They make for a really good alliance. Now, is Malta being besieged? I think not just yet. And look at that, Tunisians actually assaulting. I don't often see the AI assault, but that was kind of impressive, yeah. Now, it was kind of sad that Malta changed their capital. They switched their capital from actual Malta to Djerba. So that was maybe a bad move, but it doesn't actually matter, because this has been besieged by Tunis, or I think the Catalans actually were the ones who sent the troops over. So, yeah, Malta, wow. Tunis, major power play there. So I would say Tunis is probably the strongest power in North Africa, especially with the Catalans as their rather reliable ally. They just kicked out many Sardinians, and now they made a major power play against the Maltese. Wow, pretty good. That looks pretty nice indeed. Alright, now one thing I also wanted to mention, I think that was what I wanted to mention in the beginning, is that while I have a look at the ledger every 5 episodes or so, and have a more detailed look in, at certain map modes and stuff, I also want to end each episode with looking at the great powers. But I think we'll do that right now, actually, because we're at the end of the episode. So let's quickly check this out. The Danish are number 1, the number 1 great power. Not really a surprise there, because they have their own heartlands, which look pretty good. But they also have the Dutch under their belt. And just like the rule just like we have the rule for the great powers that they get half of their subjects' development added to their development, I have that same rule for this series. So if they manage to keep the Dutch until the end of the game, they will get half of the Dutch development to their own, counted to their own as well. So that's pretty good. Now the Leonese, they do not have any subjects, but they just have a huge personal development. I mean, they look so insanely strong. I think if they wanted to, they could just, you know, unite Iberia right now. Hungary, it comes in third, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. I mean, they certainly look big, but I wasn't really aware that they would be that big. Now Serbia actually is still alive. I thought they may have been gone, but Serbia is still there. We have Crimea, which really strikes me as a really weird candidate. I really don't know why they're here, but it might still have to do with the Renaissance, because not everybody has it embraced, I could imagine. Yeah, so there's still a few people missing, but for the most part, Crimea is there. Tunis is there. That's not really a big surprise. I would have definitely guessed that they're here. Syria's also here. So, wow. Okay. So far the Muslim North African and kind of Middle East nations are actually doing quite well for themselves. We have also Bulgaria on number 7. Bulgaria? Well, I guess because of all of their colonies that they have up here, I guess that makes sense. And the English at place or rank 8. I guess I'm missing the Gascons. I think those are the people I'm missing, and maybe even the Scottish. But other than that, I think, yeah, this kind of makes sense. But yeah, that was it for this episode, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.